Each and every one of us has an unlimited inner wellspring of spiritual power. You have the ability to transform, create, and heal anything upon which you set your heart and mind. Join me, Sarah Hall, as we learn how to uplift all aspects of your life through spiritual empowerment. Enjoy weekly guided meditations, spiritual discussions on a multitude of topics, and a chance to call in to receive channeled messages from the angels on your spiritual journey. I'm Sarah Hall, and this is Through the Eyes of the Angels. Hi guys, thank you so much for tuning in today. It is the magical, mystical month of October. So today we're going to discuss one of the most mysterious, magical, and fascinating of spiritual practices, Shamanic Journey. So, last October we actually had a show on shamanism and elementals, where I got to interview the practicing shaman and fairy communicator Felicia Armstrong. That was super, super fun. So if you want to check that episode out, you can find it in the archives of our past episodes on Spreaker, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, or iTunes, or even YouTube. We've got playlists there. But today is going to be a little bit different and very exciting because we're going to go into depth in learning specifically about Shamanic Journey. The practice of Shamanic Journey found me in my life about 10 years ago. I was a college student living in Ann Arbor, Michigan at the time, and I was attending the University of Michigan. So at the time, my interest in all things spirituality was really beginning to grow. I had become certified, I think by this time, as a Reiki practitioner. I was developing my abilities to channel intuitive messages from spirit. And I was learning a passion. I was feeling a passion to delve into everything that I could find in this area of life. So at the time, I was living in a co-op house. And we had a bulletin board where people could post flyers for different kinds of events. And one day I noticed a flyer that read free Kundalini yoga classes Wednesdays at 7 p.m. So at the time I had such an interest in Kundalini yoga specifically. I'd heard about it and I had been searching for an opportunity to learn it because around my area I hadn't found very many classes or anything like that offered it. So I thought that this was an amazing synchronicity. So that Wednesday evening, I showed up at the address listed on the flyer just before 7 p.m. I walked in and found a circle of people sitting on the floor, and they gave me a warm welcome. And we went around the circle introducing ourselves. And when they came to me, I introduced myself and mentioned that I had always had an interest in Kundalini yoga. So this was their response. This isn't Kundalini yoga. They told me this is a Shamanic Journey group. And they asked, how did you end up here? So I explained about the flyer at my co-op house, and they told me that they had been meeting in this exact same spot on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. for the past 15 years. And in that time, there had never been any Kundalini yoga classes offered in that building. Moreover, they had never made any kinds of flyers for their events or made any attempts to advertise their group. So this was a synchronicity, but not the way that I expected that it would be. That night, I experienced my very first shamanic journey on what would be a path of years of studying this practice. So it's really my belief that if you are meant to connect with Shamanic Journey, you will. Spirit will lead you exactly where you are meant to be at the right time. And perhaps that's the case with some of you who are tuning in today. If you're interested in this topic, There's usually a reason why. There's a draw spiritually to why you do these things. So let's begin to get to know what shamanic journeying is. Shamanic journey is the practice of delving into the spirit world through your consciousness, through shifting into an altered state, akin to kind of what you'd experience in meditation or through lucid dreaming. You travel into the realm of the spirit world. Here you have the ability to receive spiritual knowledge, to create healing for yourself or others, and to meet spirit guides. Now, shamanism is an earth-based spiritual modality. It opens our consciousness to the oneness of the web of all life as we experience it in nature. Shamanism is perhaps one of the oldest forms of spirituality for the history of the human race, which I think is fascinating. It has long been part of indigenous tribal cultures throughout the entire world on pretty much every continent. It is thought by anthropologists to potentially be about 60,000 years old. Can you imagine? Now, the word shaman is a word from the language of the Tungus people of Siberia. In Tungus Manchurian language, the word shaman means to know. This word has been adopted to describe persons from many different cultures who played the role of the medicine woman or man, the sorcerer, the priestess, the magician, the seer, and so forth. What is fascinating to know is that according to anthropological study, particularly that of anthropologist Felicitas Goodman, these indigenous peoples throughout the world, again, living on varying different continents, tens of thousands of years ago, who had no knowledge of one another, were all practicing basically the same spiritual practice. They were practicing shamanic journey. Many of these groups were practicing the art of journeying into the spirit world to find truth and meaning in our human existence. Maybe there's something instinctual inside of us that led us to doing that. Sometimes I wonder if in their journeys they ever encountered one another, learning of the collective human spirit and of peoples living and evolving in faraway places. Maybe they did. They certainly shared enough in common with the practice of shamanic journey, that's for sure. Much evidence has actually been found from these ancient peoples in the way of how they went about experiencing shamanic journey, and there are a lot of similarities. So a common way of initiating a shamanic journey was to hold specific body postures in order to initiate certain kinds of journey experiences. For example, there were postures for healing, postures for seeking knowledge, postures for connecting with one's ancestors, postures for connecting with the divine feminine, or for journeying into specific locations of the spirit world. Similar to our understanding of what can happen in the practice of yoga, these body postures aided in triggering a certain kind of focus, helping to alter one's state of mind, to glimpse something beyond what we see in our everyday, ordinary state of being. A shaman is one who can see in the dark or walk between worlds. The words ecstatic and ecstasy have often been used in describing the idea of entering an altered state. And no, the etymology or the root of this word comes from the Greek word ekstasis, meaning standing outside oneself. And that's what a shaman does. A shaman moves beyond herself and into the web of consciousness that connects all life. We all have the ability to do this. As human beings, the nature of our consciousness is a united collective. We all possess the same key to entering this state of being. Though perhaps to truly consider oneself a shaman, one might practice and specialize in the ability to enter this meditative, trance-like state of ecstasy, and then be able to focus one's awareness on specifically where to go in the spiritual world, maybe how to connect with it and how to communicate with it, and use these experiences to heal and to learn. Now, in order to enter the spirit world, not only are the body postures used while creating that meditative, trance-like state, but also music is used. Traditionally, this would come from the assistance of drumming, rattling, singing, and even dancing in the ritual of the shamanic journey. The rhythm of drumming is a powerful support system for one who is on a shamanic journey. First of all, the music helps to alter your brain waves to a similar state that you would get while you're dreaming in your sleep. The drumming also presents a sort of trail of breadcrumbs. It kind of keeps you on the path so that your focus remains anchored in your purpose throughout your journey. The drum beat can also help to signal when it's time to come back from the journey, when to ground back into the physical here and now. So a lot of times these shamanic journeys would typically be practiced in a group setting so that one person is doing the drumming, one person is maybe doing some other sort of shamanic facilitating. Other people are sitting in their postures and they're going into that trance-like meditative state. Throughout my own practice in leading countless shamanic journeys for others, I have noticed that the use of the drum beat is also particularly powerful in bringing spiritual guides closer to us, as if the drum is an instrument for spirit to access us. And my thought on this is actually that music is pure vibration, right? Well, we often consider spiritual energy to be translated into vibration. So what closer, easier, more tangible way does spirit have in these contexts to connect with us but through pure vibration, through the sound? So, for example, in many of the journeys that I have led, my students and I have heard the voices of people in the drums. Most commonly, we tend to hear the sound of women singing. Isn't that amazing? Their language is usually unrecognizable, but the feeling that we usually get from them is always very protective, very motherly, and wise. Also, I have had people in the past be able to hear the sounds of nature coming through the resonance of the drum. One person reported hearing the sounds of a swamp, being able to hear crickets and other different sounds of the creatures and that sort of thing. And through my experiences, I've discovered that when you set out to do a shamanic journey, there are always going to be certain guides present, certain spirit guides. This not only includes your personal guides that maybe you're used to working with, such as your angels that you might pray to or call upon, or your ancestors or ascended masters with whom you connect, but also ancient spirits who watch over shamanism itself, guides who act as ancestors to the whole of the human race and watching over our spiritual growth. So connecting with spirit guides is one of the most important parts of shamanic journeying. Your guides are the beings who will lead you to the knowledge, healing, or growth that you are seeking in that space. Your guides can come in many kinds of different forms, including animal guides, plant spirits, and elementals. And you can certainly also, as we said, connect with the angels during shamanic journeys, as I have many, many times, or ascended masters, or your ancestors and loved ones in heaven. It is very common, however, since shamanic journey is an earth-based, nature-based spiritual practice, to connect with a being that may be close to the flow of nature, such as the animal spirits, the plant spirits, and so forth. You can even connect with the spirit of Mother Earth herself to receive messages. And this is something that I've actually experienced as well as many others have in the past. When you begin the ritual for your shamanic journeying, traditionally, we'll spend time calling on spirit guides and other guardians to lead the way. Through this ritual, it's a common practice to face each of the directions, so north, south, east, and west, and to call on the spirits of the earth that dwell there to guide you. And then when you do this, you are drawing an energetic sphere of protection around you in order to guide your journey and keep a sacred, intentional kind of space around you. Shamanic Journey, though a dive into the fantastic unknown, it's incredibly safe. It's very much secure and it's supervised, not only by the shaman presiding over the journey, but also by ancestral shamans and spirit guides that will be present with you. Now, when you enter into the dreamlike state in which you begin to explore the spirit world, there are many different places that you can go. Traditionally, a shaman travels into either the lower world, the middle world, or the upper world. In the lower world, you are connecting with the energy closest to the earth. This is a place where typically you will connect with your nature-based guides, such as the animal and plant spirits and the elementals. And though not everybody experiences visions during their journey, some rather simply experience feelings of energy work or hear sounds or messages from their guides. And every journey is valid, no matter how you experience it. But if you do have a visual experience, you will often see yourself surrounded purely by nature in the lower world. You will find forests, caves, rivers, oceans, mountains, and so forth. And you'll experience a lot of primal power, really magnificent earthly beauty there. And you'll be led to, again, exactly the places where you are most optimally going to heal or find knowledge that you'll need during your journey. Now, in the middle world, you are connecting with the human world. This world may be familiar to you, of course, because it's the earth that we know and live in. However, here you are experiencing a deeper spiritual side of our familiar physical home. Here you have the ability to connect with other human beings. Here you can work on healing relationships, sending healing or love to others, or even improving the spiritual energy of one or more aspects of your daily life, such as perhaps your work life, or family life, or home environment. Here in the middle world, you'll be able to experience not only nature, as it is in the physical world, but also man-made structures, such as buildings, roads, and cities. Here you may also encounter the human ego. So if you go here to the middle world, it is a great place to heal the ego, to heal it, or clear fear-based beliefs or negative thinking patterns, and to release fear of the shadow side of life by seeing it as it is and acknowledging that the light of your spiritual origin transcends all seeming shadows or illusions of fear and separation from the oneness of the universe. The middle world really allows us to get vulnerable and to discover ourselves. And of course, your guides, again, will lead you every step of the way to what you are meant to experience there. Now, the upper world is a higher spiritual dimension. This is a special place, and it's where people will often associate what they would with maybe what they imagine around images of heaven. You might experience really pure, beautiful light in this realm, or strong energetic colors, shapes, or beautiful feelings as your energy will start to shift into a higher vibration that is associated with the upper world. Everything is quite buoyant and light in this place. Here it is common to connect with the angels or other highly evolved and ascended spiritual beings. This is a great place for receiving energy upgrades and remembering the truth of your unlimited spiritual power. It is common for people to see beautiful sacred geometric forms here, or to travel into temples or other healing spaces where the angels might work on your energy. What I have found is that in Shamanic Journey, you are always going to go exactly where you are meant to go. You will always receive exactly the experience you need in the moment. So just trust your guides and allow things to unfold naturally. There are so many benefits to practicing Shamanic Journey, and you can receive healing of many different kinds. You can receive healing of a physical nature, emotional healing, or even deep spiritual healing. Physical healing occurs as you access different vibrations and energies in your journey. These vibrations work to shift the energy of your physical body, thereby healing illness or aiding in recovery. Plant spirits will often come forth and visit you, communicate with you, to show you natural medicines that might help you. Communicate about dietary changes or insights into the kinds of physical sensitivities you might be experiencing to foods or environmental toxins. So if you set the intention for your journey to physically heal, you'll get what you ask for in whatever form you're meant to receive it. Now, emotional healing occurs in Shamanic Journey as you discover the deepest parts of yourself. This is a great middle world kind of practice. In Shamanic Journey, you have the opportunity to face your deepest beliefs, memories, emotions, or desires. And as you face these, you are in a shamanic state of oneness with the web of life. So that oneness is an intelligence, and it senses exactly where imbalances might lie within you, thereby highlighting any beliefs that might need shifting or forgiving any fears you held on to with regard to maybe relationships with others or even your relationship with yourself. Now, spiritual healing, this occurs as you access your true nature. In Shamanic Journey, you have the power to become your divine self, or higher self, as many of us refer to it, the part of you that is always fully integrated into the oneness of the universe, one with God. Your pure inner self has the ability to come through and heal your spirit by connecting you with the divine source of all that is. Other forms of spiritual healing that we've seen occur involve past life healing or even ancestral healing. You see, our souls, we choose the genetic lineage to which we're born. We choose our families not only for the experiences that we might have with our parents and siblings, but also because of the energies, emotions, and lessons that have been passed down through generations. It is known, scientifically even, that emotions and memories are passed down through generations. For example, we might often inherit the same tendencies towards depression, anxiety, or even attributes of feeling courageous or having a sense of humor, and we get that from our forefathers. There is a spiritual component to our DNA, you see, in which we have the ability to finish or evolve what our ancestors started. And so, Shamanic Journey is a powerful way to discover these ancestral lessons that you may be carrying and to heal, transcend, or uplift them for the sake of all members of your genetic line in any direction of time. One of the other amazing benefits of Shamanic Journey is that it is a powerful tool for evolving consciousness. So many spiritual lessons come to us through this practice. We connect with our ancient human roots and further the human cause of creating more balance and love in our existence. We learn about the earth also during Shamanic Journey. We learn about why it is here specifically on this special, magnificent planet that our species came to grow and evolve. We learn about the needs of the earth and how to balance better with her so that we can sustain a healthy quality of life in balance with the forces of nature. And Shamanic Journey can help us to do that. Now, today is a very special day to be talking on this subject because it's the new moon today. Happy new moon, guys. And even if you're listening to this at a later time, you'll still be able to feel the energy that we're all connecting with and together as we all listen and join. This particular new moon is all about creating balance in our lives. And to create balance with the earth is one of the great spiritual lessons of the human lifetime. So I invite you to contemplate that in terms of how you live your life and connection with the earth. We connect with the earth through our bodies. We connect to it through what we eat and how we consume and use our physical objects. So just contemplate that. Learn what your heart and spirit maybe want to teach you about your relationship with the earth, with that web of life, with which you are fully integrated. So today we are going to do a short exercise together with a mini shamanic journey of sorts. We will go into a guided meditative state and simply just begin to explore your spirit. Little toe dip in the water, if you will, to shamanic journeying. This practice is much like the longer private shamanic journey sessions that I offer, in which I will go into journey with you and lead you through visualizations and energy work. I will be listening to your guides and just collectively tuning in to what they want to give you and where they want to lead you on your shamanic journey. So if you're ever interested in receiving a private shamanic journey, a little bit more in depth, a little bit longer, I of course do offer them either in person or remotely. And you can find more info on that on my website, sarahhall.com. I also highly recommend, if you feel called to this practice truly, to enjoy the experience of a group shamanic journey. This will give you a feel for the ritual involved, and connecting with a group always has the potential to really uplift the energy because we magnify one another when we connect together in any kind of meditative state. And I just want to add one last comment before we go into our exercise together. And that is that I know that many of you have probably heard of the idea that in traditional shamanic practices, at least with a few cultures that practice it, they'll involve the ingesting of certain entheogenic plant medicines, such as ayahuasca, for example, to create the altered state of consciousness. While these practices are certainly unique and hold potential for healing based on the individual, it's totally up to the individual, I do not teach shamanic journeying in this context. Know that you do not necessarily need mind-altering plants to experience the benefits of shamanic journey. Your body already has all the medicine it will ever need inside of it. You just have to learn how to trigger it and access it through practice. The key to the spirit world and to the truth will always, forever lie inside of you and never come from an outside source. So I just wanted to make that note, since I know that a lot of people think of that when they are learning about shamanic journey. So with that, let's go ahead and go into our guided shamanic journey practice together. And if you're driving or if you're at work or anything like that, you might want to wait to practice this a little bit later and download the podcast so that you can do it when you're in private and you can really let go and relax. So if you're able to, go ahead and make yourself comfortable and begin by closing your eyes and taking in several deep, healing breaths. As you breathe, feel the rhythm of your life force flowing through you. Feel your breath surrounding your heartbeat. Triggering a feeling of relaxation in your physical body. As muscles soften and any previous tension disappears. Allow the breath to help you to sink deep within yourself to a restful and very open state. With your next deep breath, feel your focus and attention floating into your third eye center, in the center of the forehead. Breathe into the third eye, feeling it naturally blooming open like a flower, ready to receive and connect with the spiritual light of the universe. Your third eye is now beaming with a beautiful, soft, white and emerald green colored light. Allow this light to funnel out in front of you in a beautiful double helix spiraling like pattern. Move into the spiral, feeling the green and white light surrounding your body, cleansing you deeply, lightening and brightening your spirit as you lift into a higher vibration, floating in a beautiful space simply filled with light. With your next deep breath, a door is beginning to form in front of you, a passageway. It is safe to begin to walk forwards and enter this passageway. Take a moment simply to explore what is on the other side. Find yourself in a restful place, simply observing what you feel, what you sense, or what you hear around you. A beautiful golden light appears in front of you now. Out from this golden light, one of your guides now steps. Greet your guide. Take a moment to look into the eyes of this guide. Feel their presence and what their energy is like. Your guide is going to give you a gift now. See and feel as your guide sends you an energy specifically tailored to you and to what you exactly need in this moment. Breathe this gift in, receive it, and simply take a moment to observe the gift you have been given. Connecting with the knowledge that has been bestowed. You have the option in this close, beautiful space with your guide to set an intention or to ask a question. Feel free to do so now, letting your guide answer your questions and fulfill the intentions you have brought here today. Beautiful. Gently bring your attention and awareness to the presence of the earth. See and feel that you are on this planet, deep within the folds of the spiritual nature of this planet now. With your next deep breath, breathe in as if through the bottom of your feet and the lower part of your spine, Mother Earth's energy. Absorb it upwards into your heart, into your head region. Feel the oneness of the web of all life flowing through you. Allow it to repattern and reorder your energy, your physical body, your thoughts, your emotions. Feel yourself entering a oneness with the flow of the entire universe. Notice how cleansing this is. Everything in life seems to be easily falling into place as the harmony of the universe enfolds you in divine perfection. Bring your attention back to your spirit guide. Your spirit guide is now enfolding you in a beautiful golden energy, lifting and carrying you back to your physical body, back to the here and now. Feel your guide walking with you back through the doorway, the passageway, feeling yourself coming closer and closer, drifting downwards as your vibration matches that of the physical here and now, your grounded consciousness. Breathe the golden light of your presence back in, feeling your guide, standing guardian as you ground, as your energy and presence is magnetically pulled right back in. Breathe it in through the top of the head and exhale it right down the spine. Feeling aware of your fingers and toes. Feeling yourself anchored, strong and sturdy within your limbs, within every part of the spine. We'll take just one more deep breath, pulling the light and presence in through the crown chakra at the top of the head, and exhaling out the tailbone at the root chakra, feeling your presence flooding down into the earth, anchoring in the here and now. When you are ready, you may gently begin to open your eyes and just shift right back into the room. Feel the moment glistening around you. Beautiful. Thank you so much for connecting in our little journey. What beautiful energy. It really is true that you can feel the collective energy uplifting all of us when there are more of us that are connecting at once. And that goes for whether you connected live or rebroadcast. We've created a spiritual space for this, and we're all here participating. So now is the time when we can begin taking some callers. So if you would like to call in to share your experience from your guided journey just now, or ask questions on shamanic journeying, or request a reading, you can do so by calling 240-979-6366. That's 240-979-6366. So it looks like we have a caller who is already on. Thank you so much for calling in. If you could introduce yourself with your name and perhaps where you're calling from today.
Hi, Sarah. My name is Julia, and I'm calling from Florida.
Hi, Julia. Thanks for calling in today.
Thank you. That was pretty cool. I'm so glad it's on podcast because I can go back and listen again.
Awesome. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. So do you have any questions on our topic, anything to share, or if you would like an angel reading request?
Well, actually, I was calling for angel reading, if you don't mind.
Awesome. So today,
I was working. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. If you have any questions, that's perfect to add.
Well, I've been trying to work with forgiveness, and asking my angels and God to help me work through forgiveness, and I'm trying to open up to receive new love, like a new heart-centered love relationship.
Yes.
So that's kind of the focus of where I'm going, or what I desire is love.
Beautiful, beautiful. You already have a lot of angels around you who are working on this with you. So if you've been praying about it, it's really working because you've got lots of guides that are helping. So that's
wonderful.
Yes. And I'm hearing them add that you are already on the right track with this. You're already on the right track. They're saying that the inner work that you started doing is actually making way to attract a new relationship in your life. And they want you to know that it's not far around the corner. They are showing us that you do benefit from a little bit of independent time as there is more healing that is going on for your life. But it feels that it's even possible within the next few months that there's a new soulmate, a new connection that's ready to start to come in. So I pulled a couple of cards for this just to see if there was any specific guidance that would come through. And the first card that we get, and this is from a new to me deck. This is a deck called the Keepers of the Light, Oracle Cards by Kyle Gray. I really like it. The first card is the Mercury card. Yeah, this is a card all about open communication. It's a communicating card and a healing card. It tells us that we heal through communication. So what I'm hearing your angel specifically say for you is that it will be very, very helpful to listen to the deepest parts of your heart at this time in your life. And this could be a really useful thing to do in a practice of journaling, specifically if you're to write down any thoughts, feelings, questions, or ideas and things like that that you may have pertaining to your past path with regard to relationships and that sort of thing. And then listen to what comes through. Let your heart pour out. It doesn't all need to be positive. It just needs to be authentic stuff that comes through. As that purges, as you're able to release and acknowledge these things, you are validating these messages and experiences and memories that are coming out of your heart. And as you do that, the angels are showing us that literally your energy system is reordering itself. Your beliefs and your spirit begin to reorder themselves so that law of attraction shifts around you and you attract your partner, your readiness for your partner. So your second card is the Lady Portia card. This is the divine order message. This is a card that essentially says that everything is happening in perfect timing. And they actually wanted to add that message for you with regard to the forgiveness work that you're doing. They're saying, ask God and your God self within to show you a perspective of divine order in this, in which you can even see perhaps where the blessings came from in past experiences, even if they were difficult or uncomfortable experiences. They want you to know that everything that your soul has chosen or attracted or experienced in this life is a valuable stepping stone on the path to evolving as a wiser and stronger human being. You're becoming more conscious and aware with every single step that you take, and you're doing what is right on this path as you now forgive. So this is interesting. Your final card from this deck is the Melchizedek card, and it's a card of higher learning and spiritual understanding. It represents deep spiritual lessons and the idea of karmas that have actively been cleared and released from your life already through what you've, again, learned and experienced and done. Because of that purification process, that clearing, they're showing us an image of a diamond, almost like a diamond, where we've got carbon that's been put under so much pressure that over time it evolves into the diamond. They're placing a diamond in your hands, and they're saying you have become the diamond, you have learned, you are ready to attract a pure soulmate, somebody who feels very compatible to you and your new just sort of state of what your values and priorities have become. And then, this is so cool, they turned the diamond into like a ring, like representing commitment.
Aww.
So you are really on the right track. This is really something that you're ready to do. And just one other little tidbit for fun that they're giving us. They just showed us an image of water connected to your soulmate in the future, that they'll have a little connection with water. So that can just be a little thing that you might notice or stumble upon on the path. Yeah, very cool.
Awesome. Yay. I love being by the water. That's like my desire, is to move closer to the water, because it's just, for me, it's very peaceful and very tranquil, It's like my happy place. So, yeah. How cool.
Wow.
Awesome.
Oh my gosh. So that's
Wonderful.
That's what you get when you connect with your soulmate. So thank you very much.
Yeah.
That was an inspiring message to hear, I think, for everybody. So yes, thank you for calling, and have a beautiful day. Thanks, you too.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, guys. So that was awesome. It looks as if we already have another caller on, so we will welcome them on in. You are on the air. Thank you so much for calling. If you could introduce us with your name and where you're calling from today.
Yeah, hi. My name is Mary, and I'm calling from San Diego.
Hi, Mary. Thank you for calling today. It's great to talk with you.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you for your show. It was a wonderful topic. And kind of brings me to, in part, my question that I have about healing and just the difficulties that I've had with my health. And I'm just wondering if there's any guidance that can be given, because I've had some issues with my health, and I just wanted to know if there's any way that I'm going to receive healing or, if there's any healing to come from what I've been going through with my health for many years.
Yes, absolutely. So I pulled a couple of cards for you. I felt guided to pull some cards from the Fairies deck to get some messages from the elementals. And then I pulled a bonus card as well from that Keepers of the Light deck as well. I'm feeling Archangel Raphael come forward really strong. He is the healing angel, of course. And right away, I'm getting pulled into a focus that he's giving us on what feels to me like endocrine system stuff. And he's saying that he's helping to invite more balance into your endocrine system. And he says that that can be done through some dietary changes to supplement your healing process. So that's just sort of like first little out the gates message that we got here. So let's go ahead and turn over our cards and see what we get. Our first card that we have is the Patience card from the Fairies. It's the Patience Please card. This is a card that essentially says that a long-term lifestyle and even, dietary kind of a shift and implementation of healing practices is your best bet with this. So this is not the kind of experience in healing where, we kind of were able to take the pill and then the next day everything is done and our symptoms are gone and our healing is complete sort of thing. Raphael is saying that it's actually a blessing that this is an experience that brings a long-term journey of resyncing and rebalancing all systems of your life. He says that the long term is good because there are incredible emotional benefits that go along with being called to focus so much on your health. He invites you to release any frustration or worry or guilt that might ever, crop up in a moment related to this right now, because he is saying that patience, some of the steps that you've already taken actually are giving us a feeling that you have started really, really well on this path to start to heal and to uplift your internal balance. But they're showing us that continued practice is incredibly important. So that will definitely be a really, really good thing. Your second card from the fairies is the environmental awareness card. So this is a card that represents being aware of your sensitivities to things that are around you. During this time of healing, your body, specifically for me, I'm feeling has a strong sensitivity to chemicals. So that's something that you'll want to just kind of eliminate completely during this time, or have a very, very pure sense of natural ingredients that are around your body and in your environment, and keeping things very, very clear and pure. That really helps. I'm hearing one of your guides add into that would include the idea of your diet, because from our environments, from the earth itself, that's where our food is grown. So having a sense of real purity with what you eat for your body feels really, really good. And they're just saying for you as a hint on this direction, and they're saying again that you already know quite a bit, but whole foods that have been processed minimally feel like they are the best in this case. And I'm also hearing Archangel Raphael saying blood sugar management. And again, that feels like it's leading us right back to the idea of the endocrine system. And I'm seeing that the thyroid benefits from this. The adrenals feel like they're benefiting from this. But this blood sugar management. So when we get sugars and things like that in our body, if they come from something like a sweet potato or a squash or something sweet like that, it's different than when they come from refined sugar. And there's something about this that helps to create what he's calling an optimal environment for rebalancing with regard to your specific healing. He's also saying that there's a detox element that's going to go into this as well, because that goes in with environmental awareness as well. So he's saying that your organs of elimination, which would include like the liver and the kidneys and that sort of thing, are ready to detox. And that too is what feels like it's creating a more of an optimal environment to sort of push through and rebalance without the need of any aid or help to stay in a state of balance. Again, I feel like I'm getting pulled right back to a sense of adrenal and endocrine kind of balance and all that kind of stuff in the body, just going right back into a flow. I'm seeing biological clocks getting ready to reset within you, and that all feels really, 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 really good. Now, your third and final card from the fairies is actually the marriage card. So this is a card that represents deep, committed, strong relationships, no matter what we're inquiring about when we look into this. And the marriage card represents being in a harmonious union, a harmonious relationship with yourself and with your life. I'm hearing the angels, again, especially Raphael, coming in saying that he is helping to guide your life so that there is pure, kind of a stress-free environment around you. And he says that's where he says that benefit comes from, in terms of there being a long-term practice on reordering your life, is that practicing living stress-free is one of the incredible side effects that will come into play with all of this. He says love yourself and prioritize you first. Go into a place where you are receiving as much as you are giving, or even receiving more for a while, because that's another thing that will put your life right back into balance. He's also showing us just a little bit of gentle walking each day, and just a little something that you might do to detox, whether that's a supplement that you feel guided towards, or that you research that your doctor finds for you, or a dietary thing like a juice or something that cleanses, a little something for detox daily, a little walk daily. Any thoughts or questions on that so far? He had quite a lot to give us with that.
Yeah, I'm wondering, is there anything with regard to a relationship with another person, like with a man?
Yes. So let's go ahead and see if there's anything that they want to show us with that, because you did get the marriage card that came in with that. The connection that I'm seeing with this is Raphael simply saying each relationship that you've had in your life so far has been a stepping stone with really powerful life lessons on the way. And the relationships have often served as a mirror. Sometimes when we are not ready to see what's in the mirror, it creates a little resistance within us. And when those feelings of resistance are, maybe there and we're not really acknowledging or paying attention to them, they can manifest as other experiences in our life. Sometimes it will be something with our health. Sometimes it'll be something with our stress. Again, I'm just hearing Raphael say, go into a complete place of harmony, acceptance, and self-love with regard to anything that's occurred in the past, just like our last caller for relationships, and to clear the slate. We're having a sense of a totally clear slate. And then I'm getting this feeling of, yes, union and support with regard to relationships comes in and actually does you a favor or a service. And I'm hearing your angels say, open your heart to love and to the idea of vulnerability, of showing your true self to another and to allowing yourself to heal and being cared for and to receiving love. Beautiful. Yeah.
All right. Very good. All right. Thank you so much.
Yes, you are so welcome, my dear. I'm sending you lots and lots of love and some prayers. We'll keep Archangel Raphael with you through this time.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All right. So it looks as if we have another caller on the line now. So hello, you are on the air. If you could introduce us with your name and just let us know where you're calling from today.
Hello, my name is Nadia. I'm calling from Florida.
Hi, Nadia. Thank you so much for calling today. It's great to hear from you.
It's great to hear from you, too.
Thank you. So do you have any questions or thoughts you'd like to share with us for today?
Yeah, I'd love to share, actually, a very synchronistic thing that's happened. I just finished going on my nature walk, and I was listening to your show today. I had no idea it was going to be on shamanism. And I had recently found a dead owl on the side of the road in very good condition. And I got called by my inner spirit to use the feathers in order to make a shamanic sound. And so, yeah, I just finished burying the owl about 15 minutes ago. So.
Amazing. I'm so glad that you shared your experience, because it's oftentimes very synchronistic, the things that will happen as we're guided on our shamanic path, in which we'll receive really, really strong signs from nature or from the spirit world. And in this case, it's a gift that, that comes. Certainly, I feel that owl particularly would be one of your strong guides, and that, it's a gift to say, here, take the feathers, and this is going to be part of the energy that you will use in your path, in your seeking and in your work. So that's absolutely beautiful. So, hey, I pulled a couple of cards for you, Nadia. I thought just for fun, why not? And I felt guided to pull them from the Keepers of the Light deck. And the first card I'm turning over is the Joan of Arc card. This is the card of the voice of truth. The voice of truth. So this is a card that essentially says that your life purpose feels like it's steamrolling into your life really strong, undeniably loud and true, like it wants your attention and you are ready to start taking some really beautiful steps. This is a card where from it I'm hearing them say, it's safe to release any doubts or fears or any thoughts that have ever come into, kind of pull you off track or to second guess anything with life purpose, because again, right now you are really, really ready to step forward and to speak your truth, that you have a strong communicator in you. Your second card is the Isis card. This is the magic of manifesting card, and essentially represents that you're on fire right now with divine timing, with divine order, and that you will notice that there are more synchronicities that do pop into your life like this, because your guides have a front row seat. They're right next to you, and they are communicating so strong in your life. I'm hearing them pay attention to your dreams, because they're going to be sending you a lot of messages in your dreams and working on shifting you energetically in your dreams as well. The final card is the Horus card. So this is a card representing a cosmic gateway. This is essentially another manifestation card. It says essentially your thoughts are really magnetic. There's going to be miraculous little synchronicities and changes that you might see occur, and also that you're stepping through a personal gateway for your own life and your spiritual growth, in that it's a brand new chapter. things are very different. It's like we're saying goodbye to an old chapter and hello to a new one. So that will be beautiful. Yeah.
Yes, I definitely feel that. And it's funny that you said about the dreams, because when I was scoping out a place to lay the owl to rest, I found a tree that I thought would be wonderful. And that night, I had a dream, and I saw the owl fly and shapeshift through the tree.
Wow!
Yeah, and come out and then basically approach me, and then I felt my solar plexus chakra warm and like very energetic, and then I woke up.
Wow, that's incredible. Thank you. Oh my gosh. Thank you for sharing that. That is super amazing. And that's such a great example of the kinds of things that start happening when you engage in practices like this, especially with things like Shamanic Journey. So I think that you specifically are very much being called to this kind of a practice. And I really hope that you continue it, because that is fascinating. And, perhaps you have an inner shaman in you that wants to come out and share some of that knowledge with the rest of the world. So thank you for that.
Thank you so much for your reading. I really appreciate your time.
Yes, you are welcome, dear. Thank you so much for calling today, and I hope you have a great day.
Thank you. I hope you have a wonderful new moon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, guys, it looks like we are already at the end of our show time. I could talk to you guys all day long. So thank you so much for listening. And remember, of course, that I will be live every month on Project Bring Me to Life, bringing you spiritual discussions and angel messages. And you can mark your calendars for Thursday, November 16th at 12:30 p.m. Eastern for my next podcast on gratitude. So all my shows are going to be recorded and available to listen to as podcasts on iHeartRadio, iTunes, YouTube, on Spreaker.com. That's Spreaker.com, and on the app for Android, Stitcher. That's Stitcher. And I'll be posting the links for the YouTubes of this podcast on my social media pages. So if you'd like to listen again or share them with a friend, you can connect with me on social media on Facebook at facebook.com/SarahHall1111, or follow me on Twitter at Seraphim, that's SERRAPHIM 444, or follow me on Instagram at Sarah Hall 444, SARAHHALL 444. And if you'd like to connect for a private reading, spiritual coaching, or guided shamanic journey session, you can visit my website at www.sarahhall.com. And I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of your day. Know that I'm sending you all of my love, and I thank you so much for tuning in. Bye, guys.